I'll tell you a secret. I'm going to be the Chancellor. Because we came close in this election, but not close enough. So we want you, whenever this next election comes, to make sure, absolutely sure, that Jeremy Corbyn is the next Prime Minister of this country. When we sat down as a campaign team to plan the election strategy, all the greybeards, all those experts told us, you'll never be able to mobilise the non-voters. Not him. They said young people are called non-voters because they don't vote. Well, you proved them wrong this time, didn't you? Because amongst young people, you turned out in your millions and you voted, and we had a lead amongst young people, in some instances 30, 40, 50, 60, 70%. And why was that? Because this man has given hope to all of us again. And we said we want to give people hope because we believe hope can overcome fear. And that means what for young people in particular? It means making sure that they can have a decent education. We believe education is a gift from one generation to another, not a commodity to be sold. That's why when we go into power, we will scrap tuition fees. And you know, we've said time and time again, young people deserve the right to have a decent roof over their heads. That's why we'll build 1 million new homes. That's why we'll ensure they're affordable to people. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for bringing such spirit, such energy and such determination to our party, our movement and our society. Thank you for everything you do. Brighton is a city that has given place and space and home to so many. And this morning I was playing table tennis with a group of people. Very badly, I have to say. They taught me a lot. They were young people from Brighton. They were refugees from other parts of the world. They were people who had been up against it. They came together in a spirit of sanctuary, hope and unity to say, if you're a refugee here in Brighton, you're welcome, work with us and we will help you develop your life. I want to say thank you to the people of Brighton for their whole approach to life and support for other people. I have known Martha, who's just spoken, for well, 2/3 of my life, and she is somebody to me that epitomizes what spirit, principle and determination is about. She came to this country in great difficulty. She lived in great poverty. She had many personal problems and tragedies. But you know, she talks about when we first met in the 1970s, she didn't ask me about anything for herself personally, ever. She was always asking about her neighbours, her community, the racism they faced, the discrimination that they faced. And when the National Front came knocking, when the National Front came organising in the multicultural area I was proud to represent, it was Martha, it was Bernie Grant, it was Diane, it was so many others that came together to say, these fascists and these racists have no place whatsoever. Look at your crowd here, look around you here. What are we? We're young, we're old, we're black, we're white. We're from different countries, we're from this country. And you know what? We're stronger for it. We're stronger for that unity and being together. That's what our rally is about. The election campaign showed something very special about this country. We were told, as John said,
Well, I don't know why he's got a problem about people with grey beards. I really don't. I'm going to have a word with him later on about that. It's outrageous. It's only because he hasn't got one. I tried. You know, you can't persuade everybody to do everything. I keep trying. He won't grow a beard. So he condemns those of us that have got one. It's outrageous, it's appalling, and I'll deal with it. But he was quite right in what he said. You remember all those experts? My goodness, there were a lot of them as well. All those experts in April that gathered around every late night TV discussion table, every morning radio show to write us off, to write us all off, to write off hope, to write off inspiration, to write off collective aspiration, and said, this election is the end of Labour, the end of socialism, the end of the whole century-long tradition. And they kept on doing that. And they kept on convincing each other that they convinced each other to be right. Because they were only ever talking to each other. And so we went out there with a manifesto that said something very, very different. We also went out there with 2 million more people registered to vote, because so many of you took the trouble to get online, get yourself registered, and get all your mates registered as well, because we were not going to let them take away the hopes of a whole generation by their meanness, nastiness, and austerity-led politics. And we took that campaign out around the country. I did 100 events myself all around the country, and I tell you what, in the next election we're going to do even more. And we showed something. We showed something that we have the strength outside Parliament to change things. We showed what the Tories were really about. A party of the rich, for the rich, by the rich, delivering for the rich. That is what they're about. And their manifesto said it all. They actually